New tonight, the sound of gunfire once again sent shoppers into a frenzy at Lenox Square Mall tonight. A viewer sent us this video from near the food court when people heard gunshots inside of Neiman Marcus. Police say a man was walking through the store and adjusting his pants when he accidentally fired off the gun he had stashed in his waistband. We are told no one there was hurt and the man ran off and so far has not been found. This is the second report of gunshots fired inside Neiman Marcus recently. You might remember back in October, police say a man opened fire when some teens tried to rob him. Tonight's incident makes the 7th time shots have been fired at Lenox Square in the past year. After the last shooting, a coalition of 11 different organizations and law enforcement came together to drop a new security plan for the Buckhead area. Earlier this week, they released that plan, which includes short and long-term actions. The first part of the plan focuses on deterring crime, and they hope to achieve this by creating a grid of cameras, developing a security patrol plan for commercial and real estate residential areas, and giving more funding to the Crime Stoppers Atlanta program. The second part focuses on policy changes. They say certain rules in place are not effective. They also hope to increase community support, enforce ordinances, and improve the training and retention of police officers.